After an exhaustive search, our team of ByDesign industry experts have found the finest designer hotels and resorts Australia and New Zealand has to offer.
There's a huge variety of hotels, lodges and resorts in this series, so many different scales as well.
It's all here and happening in New Zealand and Australia.
This is Devil's Corner, Tasmania, Australia's southernmost island and my home state. Let's go down the peninsula now to FREYCINET Lodge Coastal Pavilions.
The world has discovered Tasmania, and the architecture I'm about to share with you has just become one of its greatest jewels. Peter.
Hey Jamie.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you.
This is magnificent.
You like it?
Oh, I absolutely love it. This is a fairly radical concept. What made you come up with all these curves?
We wanted to use the coastlines and the fluid forms of the coast, which has a lot of Aboriginal heritage, and that was an important gathering meeting space.
Lovely.
And so the fluid forms of Honeymoon Bay have inspired the way that we've manoeuvred the form of these pavilions.
And I've got to say, there are not many hotels these days that offer a bathtub outside.
And it's pretty brave in Tasmania's climate.
I think it is, yeah, but look, if the water's warm, jump in, right? Now this is also quite interesting. I've not seen this before, but it's very, very clever.
We didn't want a balustrade to interrupt with the views.
Yeah.
Well, it's still the same balustrade height, but it starts at a lower point.
Yeah.
But you should try and experience it, because people...
I think I'm just gonna trust you and... That works. It's more comfortable than it looks.
Yeah.
You know.
Normally the technique of getting in is to actually step on the outrigger.
Oh, okay. I wanted to put your good work to the test, you see. This isn't just curved that way. You've also raked the ceiling.
Yes.
So how do the curtains work then?
Good question.
I want to see how you pulled this off. And so you open this up in the mornings. I love it.
So this is the living area.
Beautiful. It doesn't matter where you sit, you're really drinking in that incredible view, yeah?
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So this one has full 180-degree views of the bay and the coastline.
I just can't wait to come and stay. Can I stay?
I'm sure you can.
Let's talk to someone, shall we? Well, this truly is one of the most beautifully considered pieces of resort-style architecture I have ever seen. From the moment you step into these beautiful pavilions, you're instantly reminded, I'm in Tasmania. It's been skillfully crafted with just enough sophistication to not overpower the incredible view that sits before it.
From FREYCINET Lodge to nearby Devil's Corner Winery, and the inspiration continues. Tasmania is just such an inspiring place.
In Tasmania, we're not short of amazing locations and amazing views, and it takes my breath away. It's not a bad place to be, and it's certainly a great place to grow grapes.
Yeah, at the end of the earth, pretty much.
We are a bit at the end of the earth, and I'm happy with that. We're a long way from anything here. We're off the bottom end of Australia. If you head over that way, about 2,000 miles, you hit New Zealand. And if you head down that way, you've got Antarctica about 4,000 miles, give or take. I reckon you can almost see New Zealand from here on a good day.
Yeah, I don't know if you're half joking. I'm not sure
you
whether
you can always trust a Tasmanian, not going to show you.
So Giles, you're an oyster farmer.
I am, Mike.
You provide all the oysters for Devil's Corner, yeah?
We do. We've got a farm just over the other side of this very same body of water. So
You're killing me. These oysters have come out of that water right there.
Absolutely. Their food miles would be counted on a single hand. And they are beautifully clean, wonderful oysters from some of the cleanest water in the world, from the cleanest air in the world. So it's that burst of sea flavour.
I see what you mean. Fresh, clean water. So you can do this, Giles, here. You can, come down on the back of a ute with a good-looking, rugged Tasmanian and just have oysters here on the vineyard.
This is Tasmania. We have a proximity. You can come down here to the vineyard, stand at the back of the ute with an oyster farmer and eat oysters. All you got to do is come to Tasmania.
So this entrance to the cellar door is really drawing me in.
Yeah, well, we spent a lot of time working with Peter Walker from Cumulus Architects. What we really wanted to achieve was to create a whole collection of buildings that were sort of tied together and gave people the opportunity to find their own little nook or cranny and set themselves up with their glass of wine and something to eat.
Oh, here we go. Hazard's tasting room.
I think this is where we taste some wine.
Excellent.
So this is our Devil's Corner Chardonnay grown in that vineyard just over there. You know, we don't make an awful lot of wine in Tasmania. We're only a small island. In fact, we probably drink about half of what we produce here on the island.
I bet you do. It's lovely.
Yes.
I guess the nooks and crannies, the kind of the spirit of discovery is kind of how I think about Tasmania.
Absolutely. You come to Tasmania to find something new, to discover something. And talking of discovery, I mean, for example, just over there, that vineyard just directly in front of us, that is where this wine comes from. So that to me that's what discovery it's all about.
Oh, well, I'll drink to that.
Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to learn about exclusive offers.
DAINTREE ECOLODGE, World Heritage listed and believed to be 180 million years old. This is a resort where I think you can really get in touch with our ecosystem.
Far North Queensland, beaches, island resorts, but it's also a tropical rainforest. Designing resorts for an environment like this takes a delicate touch. So what do guests do here?
Well, to be honest, Richard, as little or as much as they like. We're in such a beautiful location that guests can either come and have a complete digital detox and immerse themselves in the rainforest, or get out and about and do the many activities that this area has to offer. Guests can experience things like reef trips, cultural tours, guided walks, bird watching, all sorts of activities. We've got the beautiful kingfisher that comes down at breakfast. We'll keep an ear out for the wampu pigeon while we're...
The wampu?
The wampu pigeon. So Richard, this is one of our rainforest bayards.
I feel like I'm immersed in the rainforest already.
Absolutely, that's exactly how the rooms have been designed. Our rooms are completely screened, so guests can actually leave the doors completely open. We've got the beautiful screens and the airflow, so...
Yeah, the cross ventilation, I can feel it right now.
Yeah, so very rarely do guests ever need to put an aircon on. It's all beautiful natural ventilation and natural...
Just as it should be.
This is my favourite part of the room though, the beautiful bath on the balcony. So you can sit out here, have a nice cup of tea or a glass of wine, listen to the sounds of the birds and immerse yourself in the rainforest.
Beautiful. And there's no TV?
No TV and no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi?
No, our rooms have been specifically designed to have a complete digital detox. Stay with me, Richard. Don't worry, we have Wi-Fi down in our main lodge, so you can still stay connected. But while you're here in the Canopy Bayards and enjoying your time in the rainforest, it is a real relax and reset.
I've heard of that thing called chillax. I'm really looking forward to experiencing that over the next few days.
Exactly, that's what we... Can you hear that? Wampu.
Sounds like a real person.
It does.
Paul, I've read a lot of reviews about this place and a lot of it's about the food.
Yes, it is. We try to be as sustainable and use as much local produce as we possibly can here. That's one line called cold trout and that's one tablelands lamb. Enjoy.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
So, Jodie, this is sustainably sourced?
Absolutely. All of our produce within the kitchen is sourced locally and from sustainable farms or local line-caught fish like this coral trout. But our sustainability efforts don't stop within our restaurant. They also go through to the rooms and the rest of the property. So within our accommodation, we've removed all single-use plastics. We provide guests with reusable water bottles so that they can take them out during the day when they're adventuring. Our goal is that we want this beautiful location and rainforest to be here for generations to come and experience and enjoy.
So do you think it's important to the guests?
Absolutely, Richard. We have guests that come here because sustainability is the heart of our ethos, and then we have guests that come here because it's just an amazing environment.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Back when they designed these bayards, the brief was less is more. less about making statements and more about the immersion in the rainforest. And I think they've got it just right.
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible. Still to come, more of Australia and New Zealand's best hotels and resorts.
Welcome back to Hotels by Design.
Mount Mulligan, it's a unique proposition as a hotel. I just love that concept that it's not just about the hotel that you're staying in, but it's about the idea that you're actually on a working station with horses, with cattle, so you really immerse yourself in the heart of Australia and you really feel like you're a jackaroo for the day.
I'm in far north Queensland, 150 k's in from Cairns at Mount Mulligan Station. You can stay here in luxury, but it's also a real live working cattle station.
So this is your Outback Suite, Richard, which is one of 8 on the property. David from Dubois Designers wanted to give it the cave-like retreat feel, so escape the harsh outback environment. Bathrooms.
That's beautiful.
So this is the lounge room.
This is mine too?
Yes, it is. And through this side here, we have another replicated suite, which is perfect for families to book in, and they can use this as a bit of a common area.
But of course, this is the hero.
Sure is. All the rooms have been positioned to take on these magical views.
And what's this?
So this is a repurposed water tank that the designers thought would fit in nicely in the scenery out here. Yeah, there's nothing more Australian than an old tin water tank.
I'm the activities manager here at Mount Mulligan, responsible for activities and guides. We do a range of activities from kayaking, bird watching, got ATV tours, and we've got stargazing as well. We've got no light pollution here, pretty far out from town. You can see the rings of Saturn, and you can see Jupiter very clearly, not just Jupiter, but the moons around them, the Galilean moons.
So what have you got planned for me for the next few days?
Well, we're going to get a couple of tours. We're going to take you out to the old mine site, I'm going to show you around the property, and we're going to get in and get involved in the cattle muster. So the Mount Mulligan station is 28,000 hectares. Within that, we've got the old Mulligan town. Quite a sad story here. In 1921, there was a big mining disaster. A mysterious explosion down the coal mine killed 74 people.
It feels like someone's opened the oven door.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. All mines get hot the deeper you get. Now, this did have a ventilation shaft, but that got destroyed in the explosion.
So what happened on that day?
We don't really know. It could have been a poorly stored explosives. It could have been a coal dust explosion, but everyone died. There's no witnesses. It was closed shortly and opened for a little bit more, but then finally they closed it. Explosives were set all around here to drop a boulder and seal it, but they missed and ended up right there, so we can still access the mine today.
So this is our main dining area where we can dining indoors and outdoors, and obviously the lounges and tables, the guests can chill out and have a glass of vino and relax.
Fire's on at night?
It is. Fire's always cranking.
I mean, it's an unbelievable architectural statement. I've been looking at those beams.
The beams are recycled ironbark timber, which came from the old Piermont Wharf down in Sydney.
Love the attention to detail, even this leather handle. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, the designer actually describes it as buttery leather.
And this is that Japanese burnt wood called sujiban.
Yeah, and treated right, it's low maintenance and should last a long time.
The designers have done a marvellous job here. The use of honest and humble materials like the spotted gum and the galvanised iron, the lovely curved roof lines and the deep verandas. What a lovely way to experience the Queensland outback.
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible.
The W is an absolute visual feast. All boundaries have been pushed, from the mirrors on the ceilings, the walls, all the crazy colours going right into the pool as well. All senses are lifted and elevated in the W.
When it comes to interior design, it can be like standing in front of a blank canvas. I mean, where do you start? Well, the palette includes colour, texture and light. And when it goes together well, it adds up to a whole lot of wow. And in this case, the W in wow stands for...
W Hotels was born in New York City in 1998 and really born amongst that chaos of New York and really that whatever, whenever 24/7 culture, and design is one of our main passion points, and we're certainly a design-led hotel and experience.
This is level 1, so this is the main floor for living room, so afternoon teas, parties, but also the bar scene late at night.
Now I've heard about the Wow Suite. When are we getting there?
You're going to see the Wow Suite, I promise.
Well, Nick, every great hotel has a pool, and this is a beauty.
We just had this crazy idea to do like a river cave. We've even got a snake in the pool. At night, this transforms into their signature bar, and you've got this amazing view of the river. Some of the other stories that we have here about reflection and light. Here we've got mirrors, but some of this sort of stuff is all about picking up moments where people can take Instagram photos. Let's go through Blue Ducks for some lunch.
And what are we actually eating here?
So this one here is the flatbread that we make ourselves, sweet potato hummus. Over there we got the Skull Island prawns, steak, charred, nice. There's the little anchovy and mushrooms on there as well. And then a nice little simple iceberg salad.
Adam's as creative as you are.
Absolutely right. So awesome to come here and be involved in a project when people are serious about the food. The idea behind the restaurant was a Queenslander veranda by the river. It's a nice contrast between the modern and contemporary elements and then some of the softer elements as well. There are 312 rooms here, but this is one of the standard king rooms. We have elements of the Queenslander, we've got the river reeds around the bathroom, we've got light and shade, shadow. We're playing with all sorts of different motifs, even the carpet is an element of the river.
So Nick, we're nearly there, you're telling me?
We are here. Welcome to the Extreme Wow Suite.
This is it.
The Wow Suite is our version of the presidential suite, 200 square metres, which is the equivalent of 4 guest rooms.
It's not E-Wow, it's Extreme Wow, and this is the Extreme Wow Master. Look at this behind me.
I know, it's bigger than my apartment. Bath, walk-in robe, massive king room, mirrors on the ceilings which reflect the views outside. The dark timber floors then make all the colours pop as well.
So if you're going for a lot of visual stimuli on the wall, you want to keep the floors and
a little bit sort of neutral, but there's a place that like a contrast for sure. There's one more part of this, and that's the bar outside.
It's got its own bar?
Absolutely.
Of course it does.
This is the most exclusive accommodation in the city. The suite is there for people who appreciate the best of the best.
Rock stars.
In accommodation. Some rock stars.
Really?
International and local.
He's not giving any names away, is he?
No, he won't.
Look, I don't think we got to the bottom of it. What does the letter W stand for?
Here at the W, we provide and pride ourselves on a very high level of personalised experience, and the W can be different things to many different people.
I think he's dodging the question.
He does, but I think it's quite simple. It's whatever, whenever.
Providing it's legal.
Providing it's legal. That's a worry. Well done, boys.
Cheers.
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible. Stay with us for more of Australia and New Zealand's best hotels and resorts.
Welcome back to Hotels by Design from beautiful Tasmania. I just love that fresh air. Let's continue our search now for your next design vacation destination as we head west to New Zealand's South Island and a glacier retreat.
I'm in the high country in the South Island, about as remote as you can get in New Zealand. And I'm pretty excited to see what's through the gate. What an extraordinary view.
Yeah, so we are located here in the Aruri Valley, and we're on Benhaven Station, which is roughly 6,500 acres of land.
Stunning.
And
beautiful.
the lodge is overlooking the Aruri River, which is one of the best in the world for fly fishing.
And I love this amazing space we're in, this beautiful curved roof, which really reflects kind of the curved landscape outside.
Absolutely. So this is also the space where guests will have, breakfast, lunch and dinners. And that's also the place where we encourage people to come maybe after their day outside, just to sit by the fireplace and enjoy a glass of wine, nibbling some nice snacks that we homemade here on property. I think it's not really the building that will attract people here. First and foremost is the amazing nature, and then we just added something that would reflect on the beauty that it's outside.
So how do you put a building into a landscape like this?
With a lot of blood, sweat and tears, that's for sure. One of the challenges was simply the conditions that we've got to work in. 40-degree temperatures in summer, minus 15 degrees in winter. And at times we've recorded wind gusts coming up this valley of in excess of 160 kilometres an hour. But the amazing thing about it, Ken, is you can be inside and it's just still an amazing place to be. It's a very challenging build. Some of the radiuses that we had to bend, some of the block work inside those rocks weigh 85 kilos each. The whole thing was a great joint venture to get a great result.
So this is an old glacial valley.
Exactly. It would have formed in the last ice age, about 4,000 years ago.
Before I was born, just.
Most guests stay around about 2 to 3 nights, and we try and pack in a different activity every day. But there's always a warm bed and a nice lodge to come back to every night, and that's part of the appeal.
So this is our biggest room here at the Lindis. We have 5 rooms in total, so very exclusive.
And look at that view.
And then on the left-hand side of the room, you also have a private bathtub overlooking at this incredible view. And then if I take you to the far end of the room, I will show you that small lounge area. And it's a private space, that you can enjoy a glass of wine, or read a book, or even work if you really need to. And then we can just open the window for you and you can just sit outside, and having something different.
And so you've got these pods now.
We have 3 of them, and they are our newest addition to the Lindis. At a walking distance of the lodge, but you have the impression of being completely in the nature.
And this is an absolute contrast to the curve of the main building, these little cubic modernist buildings.
Exactly, but that's also why we gave a mission to the Auckland University students to come up with a concept to blend them into the landscape.
I can just imagine waking up here in the morning, absolutely stunning, immersing yourself in that landscape.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want our guests to feel and experience when they come to the Lindis. You have the whole valley for yourself, and that's pretty unique. It was a successful day today for you at the Lindis.
Yeah, an exciting day, a fabulous day. Wow, this looks so impressive. Beautiful.
Yeah, and as you can see, everything is really fresh. So here you have a cured salmon, and you have some beetroots from the garden as well in my plate. So we try to keep everything, sustainable and close to the Lindis.
Fresh and local.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What an absolute privilege to stay in a building like this, in a landscape like this.
Pay for 2 nights and stay a 3rd night for free. Just scan the QR code or visit hotelsbydesign.com to get this special offer.
The CALILE is, without doubt, one of my favourite hotels in Brisbane. It's actually become my go-to hotel. I've been there twice already on business. The design has gone to an inch of its life. It is perfection in every single way.
Now this is James Street in Fortitude Valley, Brisbane. Once, shall we say, a very colourful part of town. But its transformation has come through architecture and the legacy of one family name, which has become the signature of great design in this part of the city.
The CALILE is part of a series of projects that's developed what was a light industrial precinct into retail. It's a brief for a number of hotel rooms, but this translated into the extension of a retail precinct, the idea about an urban resort, repitching what hotels could be in Brisbane.
One of my favourite architectural sayings is man created right angles but God created curves, and the curve is prominent here.
There's some fantastic buildings when they get to a certain scale. curve is more natural, whereas a straight line becomes quite tough and aggressive. And so the arch is actually a really beautiful thing, and people feel embraced and comfortable using it. The pool is obviously a massive feature of the site. There's a 20-metre lap pool and then a beach, as you call it.
This to me speaks of sort of Mediterranean architecture as well, and some of those beautiful Moorish designs you see in the south of Spain, the arches, the timeless materials.
We talk about dignifying our hot weather condition, because I think a lot of the time we associate being in hot climates with board shorts and thongs, whereas we're in an urban context here, and so we felt like we needed a different material palette.
Tell me about the name.
The name is a family name. This firm that we engaged came up with the name CALILE. My sister said, if you're going to call it CALILE, you might as well call it CALILE. And I just went, no, because it's my name. I don't want to put my name on the building.
But it must have a wonderful personal connection, knowing that your name, your father, and that lineage. You must have a special meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got an 8-year-old son his second name is CALILE, and he was asking me about, who owns the hotel? And I said, anyone with the name CALILE. So he was up on the pool deck telling these kids off that were doing something wrong because he was an owner. I went, oh no, what have I done?
It does make me very proud, actually. Well, I like it when I get into a taxi and I said, will you take me to the CALILE? The two boys have done a remarkable job in this construction and detailing of the hotel, and Catherine mostly has done a lot in getting the details in the pot plants and the things that are around.
All our lives we've been told, you can hear Dad's words in our ears saying, if you're going to do it right, the details matter. He was always very particular about things, and I guess that's testament to what's been achieved.
The CALILE, this gentle, brutalist building, now the cornerstone and this bastion of local design, which is slowly changing this city, one street at a time.
It's a tribute to the generational family that we are, so I'm very proud of that.
Kickstart your Queensland adventures with Swain Destinations. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to hotelsbydesign.com to see what's possible.
Taronga Park Zoo overlooking Sydney Harbour, not only known for its world-class wildlife, but here they offer an Aussie experience like no other. You can literally sleep next to the animals, well, sort of, and wake up to a view of the city almost as good as these guys get. Right, now I've heard of an African safari. This is an Aussie adventure.
It is an Aussie adventure, and it starts here in Nuggera Lounge with our beautiful Regent Honey Eater centrepiece, and it typifies everything about Taronga Zoo. We are all about conservation, sustainability, and of course animal welfare.
Right.
So here we've got elements, very natural elements. We've got our beautiful limestone flooring, recycled timber. Nuggera Lounge itself, Nuggera is the local Indigenous language for nest.
For nest?
Yeah.
Nuggera means nest?
Yes.
The cinematic doors. 180-degree view of, let's face it, the best skyline in the world.
Oh, gorgeous. Looking out across the Opera House, across the Harbour Bridge, obviously gorgeous. And it's a gorgeous place to sit, have a cocktail, look out over the sanctuary, and of course the harbour views.
Well, Sarah, can I tell you, if I'm checking in, I'm not leaving this space.
Oh, you have to. Our rooms are too beautiful not to, so you have to leave this space at some point.
I can't wait to check out the rooms, but I'm checking out the Aussie species first, I think.
Yes, yeah, got to come and meet some of our koalas and our echidnas.
All right, I've got to resist the bar. Let's go and check it out. So literally right outside the rooms you have this Australian sanctuary, and Ryan, this is your domain.
Yeah, I can't get enough. I absolutely love it, and we're actually really lucky as well here. Nat, our lovely keeper, has brought out an absolutely beautiful creature that I really want you to meet. The features of them, the spiky tail, they've turned their hair into spikes for defence, so they've got hard hair and soft hair, and they've got no teeth. This little Wednesday coming through. So they get a mincemeat milkshake that we hide everywhere as well. See the little ears on the side of the head as well? If anyone's worried about them, They don't shoot their spikes out like porcupine. They've got no teeth, nothing to worry about. They demand your attention. They're great little creatures, aren't they? Rufous bedon, absolutely beautiful creature. Incredibly shy as well, so we're lucky to have this one out as well. Rufous means a touch of red through their coat.
All these animals here, native to Australia. You've got to come here to see them.
Celebration of Australian animals, man. I love my Australian animals.
Now, Ryan, I've spotted a koala literally outside my bedroom.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our little girl, Sydney. What you're looking at here as well is the most expensive animal to feed at Taronga. They're very specific.
They are the most expensive animals in the zoo to keep, the koala.
Absolutely. We need to maintain for each koala between 750 and 1,000 eucalyptus trees that they eat. We need to give it the best diet, the best vet care, because they've recently been classified as endangered in Queensland and New South Wales. So when the guests come through here, rest assured they're helping. They're helping feed the animals, their vet care, the breeding programs, so many different things.
The zoo is non-for-profit, so if you're spending money here at the accommodation, that money is going back into conservation.
Absolutely, yeah. By saying you're having a great time, you're helping.
Wow, this is amazing, as you can imagine. But there's a real focus on local sustainable produce. It's delicious, and that's a banquet for the eyes. Sensory overload. What an incredible day at Taronga Park, where you can experience all the exotic animals of the world with a real focus on the native fauna. And when everyone else goes home, you retire to your very own wildlife suite. And you start snoring while the animals outside are roaring. Or in this case, as safe as can be, like a koala in the tree.
Scan the QR code on the screen or visit hotelsbydesign.com to get 10% off your stay.
I hope you've enjoyed our look around Australia and New Zealand's most immersive and unique design vacation destinations. Join us next time on Hotels by Design.
To learn more about booking any of the hotels or resorts featured in this series, go to hotelsbydesign.com.